Welcome to our first lesson at Adapt Barista Academy. Today, we will talk about the importance of espresso extraction. Many latte artists are really focusing on pouring skills and milk frothing. Somehow, they have ignored the espresso extraction. For me, pouring skills and milk frothing is not as crucial as espresso extraction. Everything would be in vain if you have a bad espresso extraction. So, some of you might say, of course, espresso extraction is really important. If my coffee is not dark enough, my contrast will be bad. The darker, the better, so that the definition of my latte art will be very sharp. To be honest, if you are the one who thinks like this, you have made a big mistake. The darker, the better was the old generation of thinking. Latte art back then are very straightforward. Lesser pouring movements, lesser variables, and a skills-focused generation. Modern latte art varieties are diversified. There are more things to be considered, especially espresso extraction. We must get in-depth espresso extraction to understand more about coffee varieties, roasting profile, roasting date, taste profile, crema, extraction, and many more. That's why the importance of espresso extraction is more than just a good contrast. It will directly affect your pouring methods and your milk frothing. Espresso extraction is the first step of making a cup of coffee, so we must understand it and cooperate with our pouring skills and milk frothing to make a better cup of latte art instead of focusing on milk frothing and pouring skills only. There are few common problems that most baristas are facing now. First, inconsistent results. Second, wash and blur at the end. Third, couldn't find out the reason why. And lastly, practicing blindly without any improvements. Thinking back to a few years ago when I still fresh in the competition, I have no idea how important espresso extraction is to latte art. My training program was mainly focused on pouring skills and milk frothing, so I can't perform as good as I expect during the competition. My skills are matured. Milk frothing is stable, but what makes me fail? Yes! According to the latte art format, milk plus coffee plus pouring skills equal result. I clearly know that my problems were on espresso extraction. I remember that one time when I went to Thailand Coffee Exhibition for a latte art demonstration session, I get a nice batch of coffee. The roasting profile was great, the crema was just nice, the color was great, just only a little too fresh. But for me, it's okay. But when I started to make latte art with that coffee, my contrast was terrible. My patterns was blurred at the end all the time, and I've tried my best to fix it with my knowledge of pouring skills and milk frothing, but it's still not working. So, after my demonstration, I asked the person in charge of that stage, I said, "What coffee is this?" She told me it was in Kenya. I made an espresso, tasted it immediately, and I got it. I reduced my dosage, finer the grind size, extend the pre-infusion, and tried it again. Guess what? I have fixed it. Why will I make those changes after I know it was a Kenya coffee? It's because of the problems of coffee origin. Kenya itself is a high acidic coffee origin, and the coffee that I received was a little fresh. So the good-looking crema on top is full of CO2 and acid. It is dry. That's why I must recalibrate the acid level and the amount of crema from the coffee. But before we can decide what to change in our calibration, we need to gain our knowledge in each change. Alright guys, let me summarize all the key points from the little story that I've shared just now. So, here is what we need to concern about from the moment I face the problems until I fix them. First, coffee origins. Different coffee origins will have different quality of crema and tasting profile. So we need to understand and get ready what coffee we'll be using before we make latte art. Second, roasting profile. Darker roast coffee doesn't mean it will be better. We need to observe the quality of the crema because crema can be our best friends but most of the time, it is our enemy. Third, coffee freshness. Coffee freshness will directly show you the performance of the crema. The fresher, the thicker. Drier, more rigid. That's why we need to enhance the performance of the crema by calibration. Fourth, tasting profile. Do not make latte art before you taste your coffee because the acid, the sweetness, the body will actually affect the result of your latte art. Fifth, crema. I've mentioned that crema is our best friend, but most of the time it is our enemy. We need to first understand which crema is our friend and which is our enemy. Only we can calibrate it with dosage, grind size, extraction time, and volume. Lastly, extraction. Extraction includes dosage, grind size, volume, and extraction time. Once we understand our coffee, each one can be our solutions to adjust the quality of the crema and acid level of the coffee. That's it for today's lessons. Looking forward to our upcoming learning days and let us become a champion as one big family. Thank you.